South. She was a prominent teacher here, and her husband was in real estate, so she helped her husband in real estate for many years. And Ethel has chosen Zadie Cannon to represent her spirit, and Zadie is a 8th year here at the cemetery tour. She is a retired auditor with the City of Long Beach. Since returning, she's turned in her acting hobby into an acting career. Is a card-carrying member of the Screen Actors Guild. She can be seen in several commercials and television shows. And later on, her husband, Charles Parks, will be here to join her. So let's welcome Ethel Haynes.
Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I want to thank you so much for coming out to hear about my life and my husband's life, Charles, as well. He's right here with me. Well, I'm going to talk a little bit about me and him both all entwined together today, okay? I was born in 1918 in Texas, and my name started out as Ethel Turner. I went on and graduated from my town's colored high school, and from there went on to Prairie View Normal Industrial College to study teaching so that I could become a teacher. But I had this interest in real estate, so that kind of stuck with me. Well, when I wasn't even thinking about it, I ran into this fine, gorgeous, handsome, strong, intelligent man by the name of Charles Haynes. We were married in 1940. Well, you know, at the time the country was at war. And even though the armed services were segregated at the time, Charles thought that it was important that he serve his country. Other men were enlisting as well. So Charles joined the army. Eventually the war was over, and in 1945, Charles was honorably discharged, and we moved to California. Guess where we landed? Right here in Long Beach. Well, I told you about my early childhood, and like when I was born, you know, the Civil War had been over for 53 years, but you know, segregation and racism is still alive in the southern parts of the United States. You know, war solves some things and sometimes it doesn't. But when we got to Long Beach, found out that segregation and racism existed out here also. Because when we got to town, we could only live in a certain part of town. Well, parts of the area that we were allowed to live in would flood sometimes. You know, you might be familiar with it. It's on PCH in between Orange and Cherry. That area flooded for a long, long time. And then other parts of the area that we were allowed to live in had a train running up and down it from the Long Beach Harbor to Los Angeles. So there was noise all times of the day. All right, let me give you the description of the living conditions. There was floods, train noise, train pollution, and we were just restricted to a certain part of town. Well, we settled in and found us a home at 1339 Lemon. Charles got a job at the Long Beach Naval Shipyard as an electrician. I went back to school and attended Long Beach State and UCLA practically for nothing. All I had to do was pay for my books and a parking permit. I obtained my certificate in early childhood education and became a teacher in the Long Beach Unified School District. We also found us a very nice church home. The name of our church is Christ Second Baptist Church. It was already established in the community. As a matter of fact, they incorporated in 1907. We were very involved in the church. Charles was an ordained deacon and sat on the deacon board. He was Sunday school superintendent, and he was the church clerk. A lot of people trusted Charles. And I sat on the mother's board and participated in many auxiliaries and ministries in my church. So we had a good life. Well, eventually Charles decided to leave the Naval Shipyard, and he went on and found him a position with the General Motors plant in Southgate. But he did something else as well. He enrolled in real estate school. He studied hard, took his exam, and passed. And in 1947, he received his California's Realtors license. And it was on from there. Well, it was like 1962. He was selling a whole lot of property, doing very well. Oh, and by the way, just so you know, I did follow him eventually, and I got my real estate license as well. Well, he's selling all these properties and doing quite well. But you know, there's a lot of other things going on in the country as well. So I don't know if it was because, you know, school board said that, you know, segregation now had to end, or that all brave men and women were sitting in at lunch counters and fighting for, you know, desegregation. Or if just my husband was just a darn good real estate man. Because that year, Charles was elected to go to the Long Beach Board of Realtors. The very first black man to do that. But I just thought it was him. Well, in 1963, the school board decided that they wanted the Long Beach City College PCC campus to expand. So a lot of people got displaced. Approximately about 120 black families had to find someplace else to live. Well, the good news is they were out of the flood zone. Charles helped a lot of those families find homes. And, you know, there were rules and regulations that were passed, like the Rumsfeld Act, to help with housing discrimination. But people fought against that. Then in 1964, there was Proposition 14. It passed, but it was so unconstitutional it had to be called back. And in 1964, do you know there were only 6 black families that lived outside of the central or the west side area in Long Beach? Well, progress keeps happening, and I guess things will change. Well, Charles helped many, many families find homes after being displaced. So he was just desegregating the Realtors board and helping desegregating the community as well. I want to share a story with you about one of my friends. Her name is Tina. Tina and I went to college together back in Texas. And she had worked at Douglas Aircraft. I called her a Black Rosie the River. She had a lot of spirit. I like my Tina. Well, Tina, she left Douglas and went on and worked at another company and was looking for a home. And she's driving in areas outside of the central and the west side looking for a home. So evidently she ran into someone, another black family in the area, looking for a home. And the lady doing her yard said, well, there's only 3 families, two other families, I think she said. 2 families living in the area. So Tina got her home. And then one day this white woman comes banging on her door, telling her, she was upset that Tina was in the neighborhood, saying to her, well, I have a house over there across the street, so you can tell people if they want to come live over there. I'm glad I wasn't there, and as Tina was telling me the story, I prayed for that lady because, you know, my Tina was a little feisty. Well, Charles went on and did a lot of good work in real estate. He had different offices throughout the city, and finally he settled his office. It was right on Atlantic at 17th, right there across the street from home. He did a lot of good work. He mentored a lot of real estate agents after him. As a matter of fact, I was listening to one young man as he described my husband, and he said he was a trailblazer. And yes, indeed, he was. He blazed the trail for other black realtors to come in and have a profession in the real estate business, as well as allowed me to pursue my dream being a real estate agent as well. Now, I taught for many, many years, and I did enjoy teaching. Well, Charles did a lot. He was California Real Estate Association. the National Association. At one point in time in 1977, they elected him Realtor of the Year. He was well known in the Long Beach community, across the whole community. People believed in him, and according to some description, he was very influential. Well, he was in Hawaii at one of those real estate conventions, doing exactly what he loved. My Charles died of a heart attack, and I lost him. It broke my heart, but I got to see some of the fruits of his labor and watch all of these young men and women succeed in real estate. Okay, Charles, I know. So Charles just wanted me to tell you all hello. He'll be here probably later. Well, I'm glad you decided to come out and listen to our story, and that you can learn a little bit more history about all of the people in Long Beach. So thank you for being here. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.